Everyone talks about hitting 100,000, first six figures. Big milestone, I get it. But nobody talks about what happens at 250,000. And that's a mistake, because 250,000 is where life actually changes. This is where you go from surviving to thriving. This is the real breakthrough. Let me show you why. Before we start, if you're working toward 250,000 or you've already crossed it, hit that subscribe button right now, smash the like button, and comment below what your current net worth is. Let's see how close everyone is to this milestone. All right, let's dive in. Here's what most people don't understand about 250,000. It's not just 2.5 times 100,000, it's a completely different financial reality. At 100,000, you feel stable, you have some cushion. You're not panicking about money every day, but you're still working hard to grow it. You're still the primary driver of your wealth. At 250,000, that changes. Now your money is doing serious work for you. Now the returns matter. Now compound interest isn't just a concept you read about. It's real money hitting your account every month, every quarter, every year. Let me give you some context. At 100,000 invested at 7%, you're earning about 7,000 a year. That's nice, it helps, but it's not changing your life. At 250,000 invested at 7%, you're earning 17,500 a year. That's real money. That's a used car every year. That's a vacation. That's covering unexpected expenses without touching your income. And here's the key. That 17,500 is passive. You didn't work for it. Your money did. While you were sleeping, while you were at your job, while you were living your life, your investments were grinding for you. That's the shift. Let's break down the math because this is important. You have 250,000 invested, 7% annual returns. That's 17,500 per year, about 1,460 a month in investment returns alone. Now let's say you're still saving 1,000 a month from your paycheck. You're adding 12,000 a year. Plus, your investments are making 17,500. You're growing by $29,500 a year total. Almost 30,000 a year. That's more than double what you're contributing. Compare that to when you had 50,000. 7% of 50,000 is 3,500 a year. You save 12,000, you're growing by 15,500 total, still mostly from your contributions. But at 250,000, your investments are making more than you're saving. Your money is working harder than you are. That's when you know you've made it to the next level. And it compounds fast from here. Let's say you keep saving 1,000 a month. From 250,000 to 300,000, it takes about 2 years. From 300,000 to 400,000, less than 2 years. From 400,000 to 500,000, about a year and a half. See how it accelerates? The same monthly savings that took you 8 years to get to 100,000 now takes you less than 2 years to add another 100,000. That's the power of hitting 250,000. The math changes completely. But it's not just about the numbers. There's a psychological shift that happens at 250,000, and this is huge. When you hit 100,000, you feel like you're building wealth. When you hit 250,000, you feel wealthy. $250,000 does something to your brain. It's a number that sounds rich. It is rich compared to most people. The median American has a net worth under 100,000. So when you hit 250, you're in rare company. You're in the top 20%, maybe top 15%, depending on your age. And when you know you're ahead of most people, your confidence changes. You stop comparing yourself to everyone. You stop feeling behind. You start thinking about what's next instead of worrying about catching up. There's also a security shift. At 100,000, you feel stable. At 250,000, you feel secure. You know that even if you lose your job, you have runway, real runway. If you need $40,000 a year to live, you have over 6 years of expenses saved. That's not just an emergency fund, that's freedom. And freedom changes how you make decisions. You take better jobs because you're choosing them, not because you're desperate. You negotiate harder because you have options. You start businesses because you have capital. You take smart risks because you can afford to fail. I've seen this with people I know. Friends who hit 250,000 started making career moves they'd been afraid to make for years. They quit toxic jobs. They started side businesses. They moved to better cities because they had the cushion to do it. And almost always, those moves paid off. So, what does life actually look like at 250,000 net worth? Let's get specific. First, you're not stressing about money the way you used to. You still care about money, you still track it, but you're not panicking. Car breaks down? Annoying, but you handle it. Unexpected medical bill? You pay it and move on. Does the roof need repair? You budget for it without going into debt. Second, you have options. You can take a few months off work if you need to. You can invest in opportunities that come up. You can help family members without wrecking your own finances. You can say no to things that don't serve you. Options are freedom. And at 250,000, you have options. Third, you're thinking long term. When you had 50,000, you were thinking about next year, maybe 5 years out. At 250,000, you're thinking decades. You're planning retirement for real. You're thinking about legacy. You're thinking about generational wealth. Your time horizon expands. Fourth, your investment strategy changes. At 50,000, you're just trying to save consistently. At 250, you're optimizing returns. You're paying attention to fees. You're rebalancing. You're tax loss harvesting. You're thinking strategically because now the decisions matter. A 1% difference in returns on 250,000 is $2,500 a year. That's worth paying attention to. Fifth, you start seeing yourself differently. You're not just someone trying to get ahead. You're someone who has gotten ahead. You're a wealth builder. That identity is permanent, and it affects everything. How you spend it, how you save, how you invest, how you think about money. Let me give you some real examples. I know someone who hit 250,000 at age 35. A software engineer, saved aggressively for 10 years. Once she hit that number, she quit her job and started freelancing. She made less money for 2 years, but she was happier. And because she had the cushion, she could afford to take the pay cut. After 2 years of freelancing, she built up a client base, started making more than she ever did as an employee. Now she's at 400,000 net worth at age 39, and she works from anywhere. The 250,000 gave her the freedom to take the risk. Another person I know hit 250 at 42, married with 2 kids, had been working corporate jobs for 20 years. Once they hit the number, they moved from an expensive city to a cheaper one, bought a house with cash, cut their living expenses in half. Now they're semi-retired in their late 40s, living off investment returns and part-time work. Would they have made that move at 100,000? No, too risky. But at 250,000, they had the margin to do it, and it completely changed their quality of life. So, how long does it take to get from 100,000 to 250,000? Let's run the numbers. If you have 100,000 invested and you save 1,000 a month, it takes about 7 years to hit 250,000 with 7% returns. If you save 1,500 a month, about 5 years. If you save 2,000 a month, about 4 years. These are realistic timelines for people who are serious about building wealth. And here's the thing, most people hit 100,000 in their 30s. If you hit it at age 35 and you keep saving aggressively, you can hit 250,000 by age 42. That's not old. You still have 25 years until normal retirement age. And if you have 250,000 at 42 and you keep contributing, you'll have well over $1 million by retirement. But even if you're older when you hit 100,000, it still works. Hit 100,000 at age 45. Keep saving. You can hit 250 by age 52. You still have over 10 years until retirement. And 250,000 growing at 7% for 10 years becomes nearly 500,000. Add in your contributions and you're close to 700,000 by retirement. That's a comfortable retirement. The key is getting to 250 first. Once you're there, the momentum carries you. Now let's talk about what to focus on at different stages. Before 100,000, focus on your savings rate. That's all that matters. How much are you saving? Can you save more? Can you cut expenses? Can you earn more? Savings rate is everything because your returns aren't big enough yet. From 100,000 to 250,000, focus on both. Keep your savings rate high, but also start optimizing your investments. Make sure you're in low-cost index funds. Make sure your fees are minimal. Make sure you're tax efficient. At this stage, small optimizations make a real difference. After 250,000, returns matter more than contributions. Not that contributions don't matter, they do, but now a 1% better return is significant. So focus on asset allocation, rebalancing, tax strategies, maximizing returns while managing risk. But here's the key. You have to get to 250 first. You can't skip 100. You can't skip 150. You have to build through the levels. Each level teaches you something. Each level builds habits. Each level makes the next level easier. Let's wrap this up. 250,000 net worth is the real breakthrough. This is where your money starts working harder than you do. This is where you go from stable to secure. This is where options appear. This is where life changes. If you're working toward 250, keep going. It's worth it. Every dollar you save, every month you stay disciplined, every sacrifice you make, it's all building toward this moment. And once you cross it, you'll look back and realize how much your life has shifted. If this video showed you why 250,000 matters, hit that like button right now. If you want more milestone content, subscribe and turn on notifications. And comment below, what's your current net worth? How close are you to 250? Let me know. Remember, 250,000 isn't impossible. It's a realistic goal if you're disciplined and patient. Get there. Then watch everything change. Quick disclaimer, this is educational content only. I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. Always do your own research and consult licensed professionals before making any financial decisions. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.